talk about a little topic from the Spirited Straight Talker podcast, something that's being sent out today. I think an article or a talk that everyone will probably identify with. And then, of course, we're going to do some readings. We're on all types of platforms, so we're trying our best to reach out to all of you. Also, behind the scenes is Dana and Elizabeth. They're coordinating all the technology. I have the simple job. I just download people who crossed over messages. I don't have to have
That's
Wi-Fi.
real simple.
Yeah, I don't have to have Wi-Fi. I don't have to be plugged in. I don't need to have a battery backup. Well, sometimes that one, but
I don't know if I would say what you do is simple. It's not
well, compared
simple.
to all the technology that's in front of me and what camera to look in and who I'm talking to. So, is there any shout outs from anybody?
People are joining.
Okay.
Just give them a moment.
So, if you have not listened to my podcast called Spirited Straight Talk, Dana is with me as a, as a partner in my podcast.
My partner in crime.
My partner in life. Dana says she does all things Deb. It's enough.
I do. That's my saying.
And today's podcast that's being launched is how we spend our money and what are we doing when we spend money, and are we doing it to satisfy certain things of our life that need healing. I am a shopper, love to do it, love to go buy something for the house, the grandkids, a new top. Just makes you feel better. But also it can be a distraction to what really is going on in our life and trying to find out other ways to be able to manage that. And especially with Amazon, I mean, who isn't wanting to go on there and push buttons and then something shows up your door the next day, right? So a lot of satisfaction. Yeah. So do we have any shout outs yet? If you are a continual follower or brand new, we want to hear.
Just, lots of people joining. We've got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Woo, woo.
You're live everywhere. So we got Christy Wilson, who's on YouTube, saying, hey. We've got Karen from Canyon City, Colorado. Cindy from up in Greeley.
How many people can say this being 4 places at one time? I guess it is now possible. We can actually be in 4 locations at one time.
Yeah, Becca Black, she's up in Chicago.
Becca, yeah, we love Becca. She's going to be doing some running or something with, I think it's a group called Van One.
Oh,
yeah.
What's that?
I don't know. It's the name of her team. And Becca has been a real big resource for us recently.
And she's in your solution.
She's in our solution program. Yeah. So,
mentoring.
Yeah.
Coaching program.
So say hi to Becca. Anyone else out there?
Yeah, we've got tons of people on.
And if you're wanting to have a reading,
Instagram.
We will do that. Just be patient. Listen.
Ask questions beforehand. Deb does a Q&A and talks about a topic, which she's talking about our podcast a little bit here. Let's see. We've got Angela Blake's from New Jersey. She's up in New Jersey. She's
another student.
Yeah.
That's going to be in our workshop this weekend.
Yes. Let's see. Well, up in Maine, Keith. He said when you started, it was 1:11 in Maine when you started, which 11:11 here, Mountain Time. Yeah. 1:11, yes.
Numbers.
All the 11s.
The solutions class is now studying numerology because numbers. We do see things through numbers. We do hear the universe through numbers. And what's really great is as we keep getting those numbers, it's reminding us that the universe is trying to get our attention, which is so cool. But we're talking about on our podcast, Spirited Straight Talk, that you can get into. You can you subscribe to it? Is that what you do
for the podcast? Uh-huh. So the podcast, you can subscribe on.
So you don't
your
miss,
favorite.
You don't miss
your favorite podcast player. Yeah.
And
Spotify, iTunes podcast. I think both of those things. Yeah.
Multiple places at multiple times. So this time we talked about money because
the energy of money.
The energy, and what it does and getting something new, or how do we then refresh what we have and feel better about ourselves. And I know for me personally, I really have been focused on energy for me lately and focusing and what do I want to do with my energy. That's been a lot of time spending thinking about that. At the same time, it's looking at the stuff we have in our house. How I started this journey, and people ask, how did you realize that you're a psychic, or how did you know about this? Well, I started studying feng shui, which is still one of my go-tos. Dana and I still practice feng shui, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a it's a way of placing things in your home, in your office, and in your life that make you feel good. And it seems really simplistic, but it really is about all of our stuff that we've accumulated over the time, and whether it's stuff we don't love anymore or stuff that we hold on to because we feel guilty about, all has an energy vibration. And I'm going to cough here 1 second.
Okay. Sometimes this happens too when you start getting on with all your loved ones surrounding you. Deb will start to cough at times.
So if you feel tired, or you feel like all your stuff, how much work it is, and is buying things really a solution right away? Well, sometimes it does feel good, but we really want to look at the energy it takes to have that item in our house. How many hours did you have to work to put that item in your home or to buy it? And buying things for gifts. I mean, buying gifts for people are always a great feeling, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just our attachment to it. What else can make us feel happier? How else can we direct our life? I think I have people talking to me, so I'm having a little bit of distraction here. But I think it's a good podcast that most people can relate to, right, if you're a person that likes to have things. Mm-hmm. And that's
it kind of ties in. It kind of ties into the podcast we did about money is energy.
Right. And what I've been teaching for over 2 decades is everything has an energy, everything has a vibration, and how you feel. And think about when you go into a place, how do you feel when you walk in the door? How do you feel when you go into someone's home or a coffee shop or a library? What energy are you feeling? And that's exactly it in your home or in your environment. What is it that brings positive energy for you? And perhaps is spending something that is an automatic go-to, or is there other things you can do to implement to feel better without having to spend the money? Because then there's a lot of worry. There's credit card debt, and there's responsibilities. And what do you do with those things that you bought? And I'm hearing this a lot, is that when people are crossing over, kids don't want their stuff. So mm-hmm. we save a lot of these things thinking, oh, well, I want to save these for my kids or my grandkids or my great-grandkids. And they're like going, no, I don't want it.
No, thank you.
They're really simplifying. A lot of people are just, simplifying their life and trying to make things less dramatic. Mm-hmm. And what I've also noticed is kids can be 35 and younger, whatever that age group is, and they're wanting to have the tiny houses. They're not wanting to work 60 hours a week. They're not wanting to be and mortgage poor, things like that. So we are seeing this trend where people are wanting to have more fun and live life and have experiences than just having stuff. And I actually think that's really amazing. And it's, how do we change that so we're not competing with, oh, they have the brand new iPhone, that's coming out. Oh, they have the brand new car that's out, or they have, the latest and the greatest. And what is it that's lacking in our life that we feel like we need to fill it with these things?
Right.
And I'm one of these individuals that I enjoy having something bright and new and shiny. So again, it's really realizing is how much energy are we spending, not financially, but just our own energy doing these things, when we're maybe losing the idea. If we have a direction we're going or something that we want to create in our life, is the shopping and the buying distracting us and keeping us from the success or the leadership or the things that we really are dreaming of doing and want to manifest, but we're not able to do that because of the distractions.
Right. So Deb is open to answering any questions you have about the topic, she was talking about numbers, about money being energy. So type in your questions, and then let's get into a few readings.
Absolutely.
After that. So what we need from you, if you are here to receive a reading, Deb always does a few readings today too, every Wednesday. Type in the first name of your loved one and what their relationship was. So their first name, and my brother, my mom, whatever their relationship is. If it was a child or that generation, so niece, nephew, your children's friends, she needs their age so she can connect quickly to their energy. And we do that just in this forum online. So, because there's tons of people on and they all have their loved ones, and it makes it go quicker. Yeah.
It's just a way to get right to it versus trying to figure out stuff during a live event like this. So if you have, or when you sign up for, or you buy a session, that doesn't happen. We don't go there. Eventually I will ask more information, but in the beginning I just see what comes out, what the universe has.
You are the best in the world, in my opinion.
Well, I think you have some favoritism, but okay, thank you.
A little favoritism, but you really are. I think people would agree. So, so questions first, and we'll just jump into some of the
reason we like these kind of questions, and it doesn't have to be about the topic of the podcast. It can be on anything of how I do this, something else that's going on. But part of this is helping other people get a value from being on this on the live, because not everyone's going to get a reading. So if someone has a question and 15-20 people get a benefit from that, that's what we really enjoy doing is giving a benefit to everyone that's online with us today.
And there's usually similarities. So if you're hearing a reading that may be for someone else and it applies to you, they are coming through together.
Right.
So basically,
one of the questions
will resonate for more than
they're not asking, but one question I get asked quite often is, what do I do with my mother's ABC? What do I do with my family's 1, 2, 3? That is a big question, because if a family member really cherished something, it may not be as much value for you. I will tell you 100% the other side does not care, or they're not attached with the stuff they left behind, just like their body. So if you're deciding what to do with, their urn, their ashes, they are not attached. So this is a human experience. And this question is often like, what do I do with this that was so valuable to them? Bottom line, it was valuable when they were here. It's no longer of value unless you see value in it. They're not attached whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
It's like, why would they care where their stuff is anyway?
But
we get so attached to
that idea. Yeah. Because it reminds us of some of them. One of the things, I drew a blank here, but, yes, this is it. If you think about your first car, we are so attached to that first car normally, even though I did not like my first car. It was the freedom. It was, I get to be that adult. I get to go where I want to go. I get to have any radio station I want to listen to. That's really that sense of freedom. But over time, you've replaced that car and we're not as attached. And that's the feeling they have, was the stuff that they left behind. However, I have asked that question a couple of times, and people said, yeah, I still have my first car. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. And they go, now it's a classic. I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
That was Tony, wasn't it?
Tony was one of our students. Yeah, California. She goes, well, I still have my Volkswagen Bug from 1968.
Like, what?
Okay. I had one other person too that had like a Thunderbird, one of the first Thunderbird, the T-Birds. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it doesn't apply to everything.
Right.
But yeah, they really aren't, holding on to that stuff. So if you do have these things in your home or in storage and you are like, I don't want this anymore, let it go.
Yeah,
let it fly away. Let it be recycled to someone that would enjoy that energy.
Yeah. So I'll get some questions here, but real quick, Elizabeth reminded me to make sure on Instagram, we see your handle. Sometimes we don't know what your handle is. So if you can type in your first name, the person you want to connect with, and their relationship to you, that'll be helpful for Elizabeth as she scrolls through to pick a couple people to get readings.
And your handle is very cute and can be very useful.
Dad joke.
It doesn't help me. Yeah. Dad joke.
Dad joke.
Okay.
Let's see here. So questions. Let's see.
Maybe we can channel
Jill
Queen.
Newman. This is an interesting question.
Okay.
She's in Scotland.
Hey,
Why?
I just got the Queen.
Scotland.
I was just thinking we should channel the Queen.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh yeah, so that is hysterical.
She passed in Scotland, which was one of her favorite places, I guess.
Yeah,
The
I
Balmoral
think that's
Castle.
hysterical.
Yeah.
I was just like, we should channel, and had
The
no
Queen.
idea she's from Scotland. So thank you, Jill, from Scotland.
Why do we feel like we have to put things in loved ones' coffins, or is this just in Scotland? So that must be a tradition.
No, it's done here too. I hear it all the time. I think there's less of it because people are being cremated more than they are being buried in a casket.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for our grief, our human grief, if placing things in there is a keepsake. It's I want to give this to them. This is important to them, whether it's photos or whether I've seen stuffed animals, I've seen jewelry. I have even had loved ones come through and go, why did you leave my wedding ring or that ruby necklace on me? Because I loved it. There's no use for it to be, we're not Egyptian. We're putting our.
Can you get it back?
Can you,
Just kidding. That was inappropriate.
But if you think about the Egyptians, that's what they did. They thought in the afterlife, you're going to need these things.
Yeah.
But in the current life, we feel like it's our way of loving or showing our love and respect for that individual. But if you're putting anything valuable, please do not, because the other side's like,
don't take it with them.
Yeah. You're not Egyptian waiting to go to another heaven place.
So Karen Kinzer just said, perfect answer. Thank you for giving us permission to not hold on to things.
Yes.
And you hear that a lot.
A lot. And they're like, what do I do? I have a couple of items that I have that are from people who passed. And one of them that I have is a dresser that's behind Dana that's now very modern. What's the kind of style?
We've redone it, yeah. It's oh gosh, I don't even know.
It's like retro.
Yeah.
Very flat surface. Anyway, one of my first losses, not very first, but one of my first losses was a friend of mine that died from an asthma attack. She was 16. And for whatever reason, I don't even recall how I got her dresser. And now that I'm 25, dun, dun,
Dad joke.
At my age, I have carried this dresser with me everywhere. And now that I know what I do, I understand why I've taken it with me, but it's useful. It's been, I've painted it over the years to fit into a decor. But there are some things that we can keep that are beneficial to us. But most things are, if it can be recycled for someone else to really love and enjoy, move forward.
So since we brought up the Queen, and I have, Elizabeth has
That's
picked
hysterical.
several readings out, but since we brought up the Queen.
That is hysterical. She's from Scotland, and that's what I was getting. I love this stuff.
I know.
Can't make it up.
It's trippy.
I'm sorry about that.
I think she was pretty much very loved around the world.
By some.
By some.
I mean, I've been reading how there are certain countries that are not happy with the monarch. And I think even some of the people there, but I think whenever you're in a leadership role, when you are in a position of authority, you're always going to have judgment. There's going to be people that are going to love you and think that you are everything.
Bee's knees.
Bee's knees. Or there's the others that just think, we need to make change.
Mm-hmm.
Things can't be like that. And I think that is really what's important, is realizing that there are going to be two sides to everything. And realizing that if you're going to ever go into a leadership role, there is going to be judgment. I think about what I do, and I consider myself a leader in grief and in mental health as well as spirituality. And there are people that can't wait to have an appointment with me, and others that think I'm the spawn of the devil. You're always going to have that role. And you have to realize if you're going to be in the center and you're going to take leadership, that's what comes with the territory. And Queen Elizabeth did that well.
Mm-hmm.
She really realized that there were always two sides. Did she always make a great decision on everything? Who does?
Mm-hmm. So do you remember when you did your predictions it was either end of December, beginning of January? It's on YouTube. You can find it on Deb's YouTube channel. Just right there. But you predicted
she would make it
that
through the
she
year.
would not make it through the year.
And I didn't remember that, because a lot of times when I do a reading or get a prediction, it's information that comes in, but it doesn't get saved. So there isn't like a safe deposit box that I put
In your brain.
in my brain. It's sort of, and it's good because I don't want to hold on to all the things that I get, and keep that close to the best. So Dana says, you said that. I went,
Yeah.
not that it's cool that I knew that she was going to pass. But,
Right. Of course. But also,
I mean, it's not hard when you think about her age.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys also, because you were with 2 Vedic astrologers, and you guys also predicted the war in Ukraine. So several things that from your psychic perspective and from the astrology perspective that you guys predicted.
And they brought in a little bit of numerology in that too. So looking at
you did some numerology.
All of that kind of plays into it. So you basically take a ton of different facts and you put them together and try to figure out, blend it. I always say I blend them together to see.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Deb's prediction event on YouTube, it's there.
We need to do another one because we didn't do the last half.
And while you're there, sign up for the premiere of Grieving to Believing,
which is a YouTube channel
show. It's your own show, Grieving to Believing, a medium's mission to bring parents peace.
It has certainly been some growth for me.
And so let's get on to the readings.
Yes.
All right. So Elizabeth has chosen several people.
So Elizabeth is our producer. She's in another house.
Location.
Yeah.
So on YouTube, Valerie wants to connect with her son, James. And do you want to share a little bit about how you get messages real quick?
So if you hire a medium, all of us are a little bit different in our skill set. For me, I use all my clairs, and the primary thing is my empathic ability. So when I felt Valerie and James, all of a sudden I could feel James' personality. And then I'll hear, see, taste, and smell things that will resonate normally with the mom or the individual to say, yeah, this is really him. This is the example. And what they like to talk about is their journey with you. It's not who they are now. So whatever challenges they had or illnesses or their death is basically what we experience here and what they're going to be sharing with you as what's going on, what happens, so you know that it's them. When they cross over, they're not carrying any of that stuff. I always say there's no taxes or dieting, so it must be heaven. So they don't carry the pain or the struggles that they had when they were on the earthbound. So for James, does she have his age?
Let's see.
I feel like he's an adult.
It's 36.
Yeah. Okay.
You are correct. Psychic.
So first thing is James is a very sensitive heart. He kind of reminds me of my son Jake. We were just visiting was last night. Sensitive, kind heart. But the difference is James, I also feel, I don't always see the clarity. So in my opinion, maybe he got off track a few times. Maybe he didn't always put one foot in front of the other. I definitely feel like there was an unexpected death for him. So I don't feel like there was an illness around him. I feel like this took some time before he passed. I feel like it was an unexpected passing, but some things going on in his life before his passing. He's also apologizing for, he's doing this, like the chaos or the drama that he left behind. He says, I know that there's a lot that has to be figured out. He's also there. It feels like it was with your dad, Valerie. So it would be his grandfather, I'm assuming. It could be his maternal grandfather, but it feels like it might be yours. And I feel like your dad was also, holding back a little bit, like an armor on, not always being emotional or connected or being there. And he just says, I'm just so sorry that I didn't share and to let you know that I was proud of you and that I loved you. But James is okay with him. And he's also has, I feel like, a medium-sized dog with him as well. So Valerie, this could be from your childhood or James' childhood, but this is also a dog that's the medium size. Feels a little bit like a stocky dog. I'm actually seeing Elizabeth's dog, Queen Elizabeth. But it's like, I don't think it's not a corgi, but I'm seeing like a roundish body, stocky build. So it'll be interesting if you can validate.
Yeah, share the validation in the comments when you receive a reading. Everyone, that's for everyone. A comment on here from a Noreen Hudson. Too bad you don't connect with people from Canada. Deb connects with people all around
Excuse
the
me.
world.
Who said I didn't connect in Canada?
Yeah, you do readings.
So that's a limiting belief. I have people in Canada. I have people actually in the UK, Australia. I've done readings in Japan, and wherever you are, it doesn't matter. There's no limit to the location.
Yep.
That's
And
just our show.
You just booked a session in Australia.
Yeah.
So we're everywhere.
We just have to figure out the time zone thing. But other than that, it works out fine.
Exactly. Okay, so
you don't do readings in Canada. I don't have to be in your zip code to do a reading, but that's okay.
You're amazing. I'm assuming she hasn't received a reading yet.
Yeah.
So, but there's always tons of people on, and we do our best to get to as many as we can each time. This is a free event that Deb does to give back.
Yeah, and if
the community.
What I'm going to really encourage people look at the cost and all that, but to people told me it's like 2 years of therapy. So get a session, help yourself heal. If it's the cost, ask people to help pay for it, whatever.
So Katie on Instagram okay, did we do Brian? No, Katie on Instagram wants to connect with her brother Brian. So 2 brothers.
No, James was her son.
Oh, her son. Sorry about that. I'm reading multiple.
Thank goodness I'm doing the writing.
And I know you're doing the readings. Thank goodness. Amanda Love.
Are we doing Katie or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Amanda Love wants to connect with her dad, Bernie, but we're going to try to bring you on screen, Amanda. So send an email real quick to elizabeth@debsheppard.com. It's on the screen. I'm showing it to you right now. So please send an email real quick to Elizabeth@DebSheppard, and she'll get you connected with Deb to try to bring you on. And then
Katie with Brian,
yes.
The brother. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is why I write my notes. If you see me writing, it's to stay focused because
there's lots of loved ones.
There's lots of loved ones. So, Katie, first of all, I'm sorry about the loss of your brother. And Valerie, if you're still on, the loss of a child is absolutely the worst ever. And so my heart goes out to you and your family. With Brian, first thing I get, Katie, is his arms are crossed, which is usually a sign for me of a little bit of being stubborn. I know it all. Don't tell me what to do. Sort of maybe a chip on his shoulder. It's not that Brian wasn't or isn't a good person or a nice guy. I just feel like he's like, you're not telling me what I need to do. As a sibling, I know that you care about him. You want to make sure he's okay. That's the kind of energy I get. I also feel like his passing was also unexpected. It feels are really brief. People didn't have a lot of time to prepare. I feel like he's an adult as well. And he gives me this sense of humor. It's almost like a smart A.
Ass?
Yeah, a smart ass. So I can tell dad jokes, but I try not to be a smart ass. And that to me is a little bit for Brian. Brian also feels very smart. Like I see part of his brain being like very left brain, very philosophical. I see numbers. I see trying to figure things out. At the same time, I feel like he didn't want to learn new things, or he was frustrated with. The first thing I'm going to get is frustrated. Very smart, but frustrated. So this could have been the direction of his life. It's interesting because James and Brian, I have a very similar energy, but a very different passing, or a very different. There's a difference, but also 2 men that were stubborn and had to do it their own way. So that'll be interesting. And Katie, he's also showing me the creative side, maybe you. I'm seeing art. So if this is about you buying art, doing your art, being creative with art, or something artistic, he's actually encouraging and pushing you regarding the artistic work. Let me know what that means.
Valerie, the previous one said yes, everything made sense. Everything made sense. We love getting specifics though too.
Well, I do, because it creates validation when I'm sitting here. I mean, the first 2 times I did this, I had to be vulnerable here. I took a couple shots of vodka because I thought, can I do this? In worst cases, we don't do it again.
It made you nervous.
It made me nervous. And now I'm like, okay, this is how it works. But I also believe that anyone that's watching, no matter what platform you're on, is if I'm getting those validations and you can come back, it lets them know that I didn't Google you. I don't know who Valerie is with James, those kind of things that, this is really possible to connect with the other side.
Yeah. And Mercury is in retrograde. We know this, right?
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Mercury in retrograde, basically it happens 3 to 4 times a year where it looks like Mercury is actually going backwards, which is not happening, but that's how it looks. So you may have a lot of electronic issues, communication issues, delays in things. signing paperwork, things getting missed. Dana was born in Mercury in retrograde, so it's very often that she needs to send an email
I
three
have to do
times.
everything twice.
So the frustration's there. So definitely a
I
glass of
still have
wine.
hair though.
You still have hair.
I still
Very
have
long,
hair.
beautiful hair. So if you're not familiar with Mercury in retrograde, you can Google it, but just know you need to have patience this time of year.
Yeah. So just a question. This is an intuitive question.
Oh, I love those.
ML Jaramillo. Her name is Michelle.
Michelle, thank you.
Can you give me any indication if my health issues will get better? I feel like the docs don't know what to do with me.
Oh, I so understand that. Been going through that for the last year or so with some health issues, and finally have gotten some information, some data that's really helpful. So let me just tune in Michelle. Wish I knew her age. Okay. I feel there's two things. I do definitely feel that this is your body's health issues. The other thing I get on a spiritual level, and I see this often, is that when you don't feel well, you're allowed to tell people no, or you're allowed to, not have to get everything done, and you're not on that, that running, trying to get everything accomplished. So your health issues may also relate to being able to say no to other people, having boundaries, and not being responsible for everybody. That's what I'm getting, first of all. The other part of it is I'm not a medical intuitive. This is really random. I feel like there's an old virus in your system from maybe like before kindergarten or first grade, that maybe there's a virus that you had or something, whether it's measles, chickenpox, or something that
even Epstein-Barr
that I feel like it's still sort of in your, I'm going to say DNA, that is not going to be on lab work. So it's how do you cleanse yourself of that and get rid of that.
She's 51.
51. Okay. Yeah. It just sucks getting older, doesn't it?
Real fast while you do that. Shayla Jones, email elizabeth@debsheppard.com for the reading. We're still waiting to hear from Amanda Love, but Shayla Jones, email elizabeth@debsheppard.com. We'll see if we can get you on screen with Deb.
Michelle, I feel like you're doing a lot of things to take care of your health. I see, you're trying to eat right, you're drinking water. I see some exercise going on, but I feel exhausted. I also feel like you're tired. I'm seeing some soreness in my body. Again, I'm not a medical intuitive. I feel like there is a spiritual part to this, and I keep feeling like something from your childhood has still affected you today, like it's shown back up in your life on some level. So hopefully that helps. If you can validate any of those things, like did you have a virus between the ages of 4 to 7? If those are some of the symptoms you're feeling, if you could, put that on the post, I can go deeper into that.
Katie was just saying Brian was smart and a smart ass too. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. We are waiting for
Brian. I just feel tired. If there was an illness with Brian, Katie, if you're still on, it might have been that he thought he was going to be able to overcome this, and then all of a sudden he's unable to. So if there was something health related going on and he was pushing through it, and then something just turned on a dime, that could be part of what I'm getting as well. I keep feeling of the sense of unprepared. We're not ready. And of course, you're not ready for someone to die when they're young, but right. I don't think that's what he's trying to tell me.
Okay, let's see, Lauren Framstead Hoffman wants to connect with her son Jax. I don't have Jax's name or Jax's age, Lauren. So type in his age real quick. But
also, is her mom passed or a mother figure?
Let's see if she can type that in very quickly. Okay. He was 10.
He was 10. Wow. Okay. Lauren? Can she tell me if her mom's passed or mother figure, mother-in-law, aunt? Because she's really strong coming through with him.
Type that in real quick.
Okay. first of all, again, my heart with Jax. I see this sweet, beautiful, kind face. I feel smiling. I feel like this kid was a light in everyone else's life. I feel prepared a little bit for his passing, or I feel something being prepared. So if he was sick or there was something else going on, but again, I can't breathe around him. Um, I'm getting, yeah. So if this is a drowning or a breathing or asthma, something around this is what I'm getting. Obviously, I'm feeling that. Whether this was an ongoing illness or whether this is something that just happened. And
Oh dear, he was shot, she said.
she shot. Okay, what's going on with the chest then? Did he live for a period of time? Did they take him off life support?
Not sure.
Okay, so
Do you want to try to do a live reading with her?
Yeah, that'd be great if she can come on, Lauren.
Lauren, send an email really quickly to elizabeth@debsheppard.com and we'll see if we can bring you on live so Deb can get the answers to do the reading.
Yeah, so the breathing can be where he got shot. Wow, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Katie said his life was a long battle with substance abuse and mental health.
Okay.
So she thinks he was tired.
Yeah. And Katie, that's what I get, like not sick, but mental. I believe that mental health is an illness. And I just had a session yesterday trying to explain to somebody, and this is always a platform of mental health. I call it cancer of the mind. When people are, having addictions or whatever that looks like, that mental health, if it's not managed, we can go down the rabbit hole. And that's with Brian. Very smart, that, doesn't want to listen, a little bit stubborn. So if he didn't want to listen to people telling him he needed to stop, that's probably the stubbornness.
Mm-hmm.
And I still want to know about the art, Katie, if that makes any sense.
Okay. Michelle said she doesn't know about a virus, but she'll ask her mom. She has rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, and osteoarthritis.
Okay.
Not sure if an old virus caused the RA or childhood trauma is the reason for fibromyalgia.
And all of those things are, doctors just kind of put a blanket on there, like, let me give you some drugs. Let's not really go to the issue. So diet.
Some doctors.
Yeah. I don't put them all in one category. It's like saying all psychics are going to steal your money, right? They're all false.
Just some of the things we've ran into.
Yeah. Even if it wasn't a virus, Michelle, it could be what was going on in your life during that time. Did you feel like you didn't have control? You didn't have a voice? Were your parents divorcing? Did you move? Were there anything around that period of time that would be maybe normal for some, but has made an impact on you? So those things can be included. I keep seeing really doing a big cleansing for you. And like, I feel like a reboot, a restart.
Okay.
For you on that.
So we're trying to get Lauren on with you so we can bring on somebody live with you.
You say where Lauren's from?
It doesn't.
Okay. Boy, breathing.
She said he died instantly.
Okay.
But I mean, okay, she sent it, so we're getting her on. But if in fact he died instantly, that would make sense that he stopped breathing.
I know, but I kept getting, why do I know? I keep getting a knowing or a feeling about something before
You're on fire today.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
Maybe I get a good night's rest.
Yeah, you're just boom, boom, boom.
I'm wondering, in the shooting, did someone else die in the shooting
as well? Oh,
I wonder if there's another person.
And sounds like Noreen Hudson, who's up in Canada, her husband has some health issues and they don't seem to try to figure it out or care. Some doctors don't care, she said.
Well, I think it's, Canada, just like the UK, the medical community is very different than the US, but I will tell you, in the US, we still have to do our due diligence to figure things out. I have had health issues that Dana and I have been really digging deep in and working on. And it's an ongoing process, I think, too. And I think part of it is we look at how technology and medicine is. We expect a quick fix. We expect to be able to get something right away and be able to shift it. I also believe that past lives do affect our health in this lifetime. When I've done past life readings, what I have found is that there's something that happened in a past life that they're bringing through in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually know 100% that after a past life reading, their health issues went away.
Yeah, they many.
Completely. And that's what's really fascinating. Now, can they come back? Yes. It means that you still have to do your due diligence in, making sure that that you're doing your part spiritually and to take care of things. But yeah, I've done a lot of past lives where their autoimmune system, and I'm not saying that this is a cure or that I'm curing anybody, because that's not the case. What it is bringing up things from the past that begin to heal what we brought through in this lifetime. If you do not believe in past lives, that's okay. But that has been something pivotal. Yeah. And I'm actually being certified in hypnotherapy to take you on your own journey, even though I really love just going to your records and reading information.
Yeah, but a lot of people, when they realize their past lives, are able to kind of heal that.
Yes.
So Lauren's on with us. I'm going to add her on.
Yeah, Lauren.
All right.
Hey, Lauren.
Good morning, Deb.
Good morning. I'm so sorry. Is this kid just the cutest kid ever?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and I'm seeing just this outgoing, great personality, everyone's friend,
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm not a baseball person, but I keep seeing a baseball cap. Is there any meaning to a baseball? If not,
she's wearing a baseball cap.
Are you wearing a baseball cap?
I'm wearing a hat, yeah.
Okay.
He always wore hats.
Okay, so if he's bringing up the hat, it's just an acknowledgement of, I have to have my hat on, you have your hat on, so that's the energy around that. Did someone else?
Can you sit still for a moment? And
yeah, I'm sorry. I was just
everybody around with you.
Okay, this is Jackson.
Oh, he's showing a picture.
Oh, what's he look
She's
like?
showing a
Is he
picture.
just cute?
He's a cutie. Got a great smile.
Yeah.
Deb can't see you, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
But
that's okay. Everyone else
can look at his picture later, but everyone else can see you and see what a cutie he was.
Did someone else,
like dimples?
Yeah. Did someone else pass with him, or was there another person with him?
No.
Why do I feel like he's not alone?
We have many family members that have passed, but he passed away alone.
Okay. Is there, by any chance, anyone else in your life that's been shot?
I had a cousin that committed suicide.
Okay. All right. I feel like Jackson is there with probably the cousin. Because
they didn't know each other.
That doesn't matter.
On the other side, they do.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So they, just to let you know. And he's also telling me that, was the gun supposed to be put away?
Yes.
Okay. The preparing that I got earlier, to me, is someone should have been more prepared with the weapon.
Absolutely.
And knowing this could happen means someone was thinking, oh, this will never happen.
Yes.
Well, I feel like so I kept getting like, why were people prepared or not prepared? So now that makes more sense to me. Like, this should have been locked up. This should have been, in a safe with, the bullet somewhere else. Jackson's not blaming somebody else, because I feel like he didn't realize it was loaded, or didn't realize the safety wasn't on, or didn't realize that this would be an issue. Was it right towards his chest?
It was. His cousin actually shot him.
Okay,
with
so he was,
the gun.
Then he was not. Then he was with somebody else.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like, did someone else pass?
No. There's somebody else there. Somebody else with him.
Yeah.
So it's not the cousin. It's the other person that's with him.
Got it. No, his younger cousin was mad at him over a video game and obtained a loaded gun that my brother had and shot Jackson right in the chest. It went through his heart and his lung.
That's the breathing.
So again, when he said he was not alone, it's explaining to me. And that's why when you said cousin, I'm like, okay, maybe that will fit. I don't want things to fit. So if he did have another person with him, that's letting you know that, he's telling you the story. Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's one of these situations where, it's like, how could this happen? But again, this is where we have regulations regarding, I mean, I have no problem with people having guns. I have a problem with what people do with the guns for safety.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
And
it
so
shouldn't have happened.
it should not have happened. And
Right.
your son is not upset with the cousin. I just feel like there's just so much of this stuff. Like, I feel like, did his cousin try to hide or try to kill himself or try to, because I feel like there was more that happened after your son's passing.
No, not that I know of. I haven't had any contact with them.
How long ago was this?
2 years today.
Oh, so the anniversary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would think as a mother, you don't want to have communication with the family. I think your son is worried about his cousin. So, in my opinion, it's not your responsibility to reach out, but your son does not want his cousin to take his own life or do something that would not be good in the long run. Does that make sense?
That would be 100% his nature.
Okay. So it doesn't mean you have to do anything. I mean, you lost a child through this. Where do you, are you in Colorado? Where are you, Lauren?
Yeah, we're in Aurora.
Okay. So I just get that this was, in the moment. I feel like your brother should have definitely been, aware. I feel like there's just so much carelessness, and it's going to be okay. And I feel like the cousin knew exactly where the gun was and how to either use it or load it. Would that also
absolutely
make sense? Okay.
Yep.
And so, and was his cousin older?
Younger. He turned 9 a week after it happened.
Okay, hold on. Make sure that is there another older cousin in this picture that would have been in the household?
There was a neighborhood friend that was 11.
That was there too?
That was there too. That actually reached the gun down, gave it to my nephew to then shoot my son.
Okay, so this is what he's bringing through. The older person being, not being alone and giving you the details of what happened. Because these are all minors, I'm sure there's no hands being slapped, but
none.
Son just wants to say, Mom, I'm worried about the long-term effects here. Again, this is not your responsibility. Who is it that's in our politics right now that's doing a lot of this?
Tom Sullivan.
Reach out to Tom Sullivan.
Okay.
Tell him that you had a reading with me. His son was murdered in
Sullivan.
Yeah, he was murdered in the Aurora
theater shooting.
Yeah, for Batman. So he's become an advocate regarding gun laws and all those things. I'm going to encourage you when you're ready to become.
I'm now.
Okay. So reach out to Tom Sullivan.
Do you know how to reach out?
He's in the Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Representative. So you'll find him online.
Just Google him and say you had a reading. And
he does tons of town halls where you can just show up and talk to him.
I just did something with his daughter it's called Camp Aaron, helping children heal through grief. So they're very involved in all these things, and he's just a great guy. So for you right now, if your son is telling me to reach out, he's really wanting you to be, a front for this.
Yeah, well. I will.
Also, Jax is telling me, did he almost not go to the cousin's front house?
Yes.
Okay, so again, I feel like when I first got not prepared or all that kind of stuff, it's what led up to his passing. So that's should I let him go? If you had some concerns about your brother's house, maybe situations, you may be carrying some guilt around this, or some feelings around, I knew I shouldn't have let him go, whatever that story is in their head. Does that make any sense?
We were supposed to go jet skiing that day, and 30 minutes before he left our house, we decided not to go. So then he said, well, I'm going to go to my cousin's and play.
Okay. He does not want you to hold on to that. Okay. He says, because you're repeating in your head, we should have just kept with our plan. We just should have kept with what we thought. Yeah. And he is saying, no one ever knew that this was going to happen. But he really wants his face to be out there to say he is a reason for laws the laws are in place. People need to follow them.
Yeah.
So he's saying is, Mom, this is a mission for you.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions? You know, he's okay. You want him here. And this is
Does he come around us?
Well, if I can connect with him, absolutely. I don't know who your son is.
Does he know about his sister?
He knows because he's here, honey. If he's telling you about all these things, yes. And he says, is his sister named after somebody?
After him.
Okay. So yes, he knows this. And he says he doesn't like her hair.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
Well, she's got crazy hair, but so did he.
Okay,
So-
so he's bringing this up. And he says, yes, you can give her my stuffed toy that I loved.
Okay.
Do you know what that toy is?
No, we have one of his blankets that
Okay.
is very special to him, but
I'll go with the blanket because it's soft and smooshy.
is he with any other particular family members?
Lauren, Lauren,
Yeah,
you
we're
need
gonna-
an hour. This is supposed to be like a 2-minute reading. We do.
Okay, Deb, I'm going to reach out to you for a full reading. I
Good.
would love that.
Good.
Thank
And
you, sweetie.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on.
yeah, thank you so
We
much.
But you have no idea. Bless you, and thank you so much for what you do. I just think the world of you guys.
And
Thank
it
you,
sucks
Lauren.
for you, Lauren. I'm so sorry.
Sending you lots
Yeah,
of
but-
love. I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody is that's
Yeah.
on here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So interesting that we're wrapping this up because our YouTube show is all about grieving to believing, helping parents heal. That's my mission, and I want to cry,
Aw.
which I don't. To know for parents that we're not supposed to bury our children. That's not how we're designed. But it's to help parents know that their children are still with them and that they are still communicating. And what I've always said is, even though they're on the other side, they're still by our side. Thank you for joining us. And I'm Deb Sheppard.